Welcome to 10 TV Plus. I'm Dylan Robichaud. We got Michael Behrens over here. And Michael, saw a little bit of snow and ice out there today. And now as we go through the next few days, still cold, but finally things get warmer for the weekend.
Yeah, a little bit of snow added to our totals today. We're still going to be hard-pressed, I think, to get to that February number where we should be for this time of the year. Because like you said, we're getting warmer as we head toward the weekend.
And speaking of numbers, we say February we average about 7 inches. We've had maybe a little bit over 3.5 for this February so far.
Probably get us close to it today.
It's only about 50% of normal.
Yeah.
So things are looking pretty slim out there if you are a snow lover. But let's get right into the weather story. And you'll notice that as we went through last night, there's a look at the snow. You can see it right there with the cloud ceiling dropping. Just enough to kind of coat the ground. If you have a brush or a broom or whatnot, it's enough to kind of wipe it on off. It's actually a really pretty shot heading into late this morning. The concern now will be for ice. Remember, bridges don't have insulation from the bottom, okay? So they're cooling from the top and the bottom, whereas roadways only cool from the top. They actually have quite a bit of insulation here from the earth. And so the bridges and overpasses might be looking at a little bit of ice out there for today. Here's a look this morning from Mad River Mountain, and this is out there in Logan County. You can actually see a little bit of snowflake activity going on out there. And these were very fine crystals, such a light powdery snow. And that's because there's not a whole lot of humidity in the air. The temperatures are so cool, the air is so dry that you get these light powdery snowflake crystals. As we move the camera around, you can see that we are looking at pretty quiet conditions out there right now. That storm, by the way, see you later. That's moving off the East Coast. Now we got some lake effect snow coming in from the north. Now take a look at this right here. This right here is water vapor imagery. And I want to point something out for you here. So as we look at this, you'll notice that the flow is coming in from the northwest. So like the winds are coming in from this direction. That means that we have the wind coming in off of Lake Michigan. Okay, so now with that wind coming in over that lake fetch, we might actually get some lake effect snow showers that move into portions of Indiana and maybe even parts of Ohio heading into this evening. And you can see it out here. Let's go towards the afternoon. Things are looking much nicer heading through the later half of the day, but these are actually lake effect snow bands that try to move into the area. Look at this here, 7:30 p.m. from Marion all the way down to the southeast. Taking a look here at some of these lake effect bands. Then eventually, as we head past midnight, things will die off and improve. How much additional snowfall here? Hardly anything, maybe a few 1/100ths of an inch, and I think that's being generous. Now, you just heard me say we are tracking some of the lake effect snow bands. So depending on where those set up, we could be looking at that 0.6, maybe a little bit further south or north, depending on where that lake effect snow will be. As we look at the wind, though, for today, you'll notice right now, if you step outside, the wind is gradually getting stronger. Today, we're looking at winds gusting perhaps as high as 20 miles per hour. Tonight, they die down, but that is going to do a number on the wind chill for today. Take a look at these wind gusts here over the next several hours, and they're going to be dropping. They're going to be rising to around 25 miles per hour. Why does it matter? How does it impact you? The stronger the wind, the colder it feels outside. So take a look at the wind chill now. As we head towards the warmest hours of the day, which is about right now, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're talking single-digit wind chills here because the winds will be picking on up. If you don't like the cold, just hold on for a few more days because finally things start warming up. Friday it's cold, Saturday it's cold, but then take a look at this right here. By early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are looking at nighttime lows in the 30s, daytime highs close to 50. It's been so cold because the jet stream is way down to the deep south, but now we're going to start tapping into that moisture coming in from the south, and that warm conveyor belt is going to allow those temperatures to warm up quite a bit. Heading through the end of February into the start of March, that's right, March is right around the corner. It looks like March is going to be roaring in like a lamb this time of the year, or at least based on current data. Things are going to be pretty quiet here. Average temperatures, average precipitation, things will be kind of boring, dare I say it. And I knock on wood when I say that because you watch, I'll jinx it. But as of right now, things are looking quite boring heading into the next couple of weeks. Temperatures now are downright cold, below average, and then we get warmer as we head towards February 25th and 26th. We're actually about 6 degrees above average. That would be early next week, and then we cool off a little bit heading into the last few days of February as we get towards the end of next week. For today, though, temperatures are climbing up to the lower end of the 20s. It's cloudy out there, but the sunshine might play peekaboo with us here as we get sunshine that kind of comes and goes throughout the day. As we head towards Saturday, though, check it on out. If you're heading off to that Crew game, you know we got some diehard fans that are going to be out there supporting their team. Little Major League Soccer home opener at Lower.com Field. The numbers don't lie, though. We are in the 20s, okay? It's going to be downright chilly for that. And then heading into Tuesday of next week, we are tracking our next system. We got a weak disturbance that's going to ride the jet stream here. Look at this by Tuesday, looking at some showers moving into the region. That gets out of here by about Wednesday, and then things start to improve by midweek. Temperatures, though, once they get warm, they stay pretty warm. And with every model run, we consistently see the numbers going up. So that 49 is looking pretty darn good compared to where we've been this week. I don't think anybody's complaining about that.
Hey, who can complain about the 50s in February? I mean, like I said, we should be a little colder this time of year than that, but get a few days in there when we can.
It's almost March. March, we almost always average a couple of inches of snow.
Yeah.
Let's see what this March has.
So we got some time left. Don't put the winter gear away yet.
Not yet. No.
Absolutely. You know, speaking of that winter gear with the snow today, it's an important reminder of some of those basic safety concerns out on the roads, because if you're in areas that are untreated, you still may come across some slick conditions. One thing to do, certainly pay attention to the plows that are out on the roads today. Leaders at the Ohio Department of Transportation are saying about 49 of their plows have actually been hit so far this winter, as compared to last season's total of just 22 incidents involving those snow plows. And here's a few tips for those drivers who, again, are out on the roads today in some of those slick conditions. If you see a snow plow, make sure you give it plenty of room, avoid tailgating and passing the vehicle, and also watch out for the snow plow cloud, which is a snow that will hit your car when driving behind a snow plow. Weather officials are also warning, don't let black ice sneak up on you. It can certainly be a problem on some of those untreated areas, especially those bridges. It can form on any road along with the curbs of that road and drainage areas. It's more prevalent at night, but can still be around during the day, especially when temperatures are as cold as they are today. Officials encourage you not to drive during those freezing temperatures right after the rain or snow. Give those roads time to get treated. And this cold weather, again, is also causing potholes to pop up all over the place. If you hit one of your car, it can cause some damage out there, but there's good news. ODOT says if your car does get damaged from a pothole on one of their maintained roads, you can file a claim to get reimbursed for the repairs. That includes all interstates, U.S. routes, and state routes outside of the city. ODOT says you can have up to 2 years after the incident to file.
Yeah, obviously potholes are something that aren't really preventable, so we want to provide Ohioans with a way to maybe get some money back if they incur any damage to their vehicle, because we obviously can't prevent Mother Nature from creating those potholes.
Over the past year, there have been 104 claims filed in Central Ohio that went through the claims process. Of that, 77 have been paid out with a total price tag of around $20,000. Right now, you can find a link to file a damage claim on our website. Just go to 10tv.com/featured links. And again, with all this cold weather coming in, it's hard to think about this winter being kind of lacking in snow. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but we've actually seen a number of spots out there not having a lot of snowfall out there, more dry winter compared to usual. With more on the impacts of that to the environment, here's reporter Jeff Wagner from the Twin Cities with details.
The thick coating of snow outside can easily make you forget just how dry this winter has actually been. A repeat of last year, likely creating a repeat of side effects.
Definitely can impact the number of seeds and fruits.
Jessica Savage is an associate professor on plant physiology.
Lake levels are not at record lows, but certainly the lowest we've seen in a decade.
Jay Austin is a physics professor specializing in lake levels.
The deer population is basically controlled by the severity of a winter.
And Ron Moen is a senior wildlife biologist. We asked each of them, what does a lack of snow, especially a pattern of it, mean for our environment? Let's start with plants.
We rely on a lot of snow for bringing in water early in the spring when it melts. And that's a time when the trees are having big bursts of growth, and they need that water.
Consecutive years without big spring melts will slow a tree's growth. Plants with shallow roots, like those in your garden, might die off without the insulation from snow, while plants with deeper roots, like some weeds, could thrive. It could also lessen how many seeds or fruits a plant will bear.
Sometimes we think, oh, well, rain is rain or precipitation is precipitation, but it really matters to plants when that happens.
Animals struggling to survive while others thrive stands out to Moen.
Well, you might look at the small mammals, the mice and voles and that kind of thing. They're not doing as well now because they don't have the snow cover.
That means predatory birds like hawks and owls feasting more than usual, but hurting their food source in the long run.
In 1 year, they can recover. 2 years, they can probably recover. But 3 or 4 years down the road, we're going to see changes in their population levels.
Meanwhile, deer populations would grow from consistent access to food no longer hidden by snow.
In the winter, we tend to see water levels decrease.
That's because dry winter air speeds up evaporation. Ice can protect lake water from that, but ice needs snow cover to reflect UV rays. Otherwise, it melts faster and sooner, exposing water.
Snow sits on the landscape over the course of the winter. And in the spring, we get what's called a freshet, where that snow all melts in a relatively small amount of time.
Not only does a heavy melt quickly replenish lake levels, it brings nutrients that are key to a body of water's ecology. A pattern of dry winters makes waterways more reliant on spring and summer rains to remain healthy. Jeff Wagner, WCCO News.
Finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. This is of a Sicilian volcano that began its first eruption of 2025 earlier in February, with lava escaping from a fracture at 3,000 meters. It's been drawing crowds who happily trek up the mountain to see the spectacle up close. In fact, a little too close, as the mountain police have been having to keep crowds back for safety reasons. Tourists need to keep a minimum distance of 500 meters from the lava flow and only be accompanied by guides. I mean, I feel the heat coming off of that just looking at this video, but I mean, that's got to be a crazy sight to go see.
The irony there, the fire and the ice together.
Because you got Mount Etna there, like I said, 3,000 feet up in the air. So this is pretty high elevation.
Yeah.
So you get the snow. It's a pretty, looks like a pretty slow lava flow. So, I mean, it's something you can go see as a tourist, but I mean, the danger's quite obvious if you get stuck in the wrong spot.
Mount Etna is what we call a stratovolcano. We have those along the Pacific Ring of Fire through Washington, Oregon, and even parts of Northern California too. So Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980. We haven't had any major eruptions lately. Hawaii did, but not in Oregon or Washington. It'll happen again someday.
Yeah, so knock on wood that when it does, that
not in our lifetime.
It moves that slow and you can get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
And switching gears here, today is also National Love Your Pets Day. This holiday focuses on giving your pets extra cuddles, love, treats, and of course, whether that's a cat, dog, bunny, or even a bearded dragon, pets can offer a variety of benefits to your overall well-being, including reducing stress and anxiety, offers a social boost, and in some cases can force you to get exercise if you got to take that dog out for a walk. Celebrate today by taking, again, that dog for a long walk, cuddling up with your cat or other pet, get those purrs on, or just learning a new trick. You got any pets, Dylan?
I do not. I need to get a cat. I'm starting to get lonely. Having a cat. Didn't you say your cat's name was like Radar?
Oh, that Radar was my cat at my parents' house. Had a weather name, but my cat that I have now, his name is Pumpkin Bob. So that's a great reaction to his name. Well, his name was originally Pumpkin when we got him from the shelter, but we decided he needed another name, so I just threw out Pumpkin Bob and it stuck.
I might steal Radar, named after Doppler radar.
There you go.
I like that. Okay, well, that does it for us here on 10 TV Plus. Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz is here with your latest forecast tonight at 6 o'clock.